Today we are going to take a look at a brand new release from Atelier Wen. This is the Perception Millesime project, and in this video I'm going to go through each aspect of the watch, share my opinion about those aspects, and then end this video with an announcement from Atelier Wen. And I'll start off with what I think is the most noticeable and the most notable aspect, and that is the incredible purple handmade dial. This color is just not one that we see often enough from any watch brand. I love this tone. I love how bright it is. And speaking as a Utah Jazz fan that lives in Utah, I think this would be perfect to take to Jazz games. Now, this is a traditional guilloche hand turned on a rose engine dial. Most texture dials are either stamped or they're CNC machined, and there is nothing inherently wrong with those manufacturing options, but they don't quite have the same depth, the same crispness, the same art aspect to what you find on a traditional rose engine turned dial. And in my opinion, this is the highlight of the watch. And one of the reasons why the dial looks so good, so clean, so crisp is the 10 layers of anti-reflective coatings that are applied to this faintly double-domed sapphire crystal. You'll note excellent crystal clarity, but not an elimination of all reflections. The case and bracelet are made from grade 5 titanium and finished exactly like the prior 904L steel Perception V2. Note the subtle chamfering on every side of each bracelet link, the general dramatic taper of the bracelet, and then the subtle thinning of each link from where the bracelet connects to the case down to where the bracelet connects to the clasp. I think that is nice attention to detail, and the light play on this comfortable bracelet is really good, really solid. Now, taking a look at the clasp, you'll note a quick adjustment system that you operate by pressing the button in the middle of this grade 5 titanium clasp. I think that is a must-have feature on a daily driver, especially a luxury watch. And this watch, I would consider a luxury product. Now, there's also some fun engineering in the swing arm. You'll notice a telescoping element that expands so you can fit your wrist through the bracelet, and then it telescopes back into position when you clasp the clasp shut. So that allows the swing arm to be much shorter, much more comfortable than a traditional longer swing arm from a competing luxury brand. Now let's take a look at this bracelet. Note the light play as I do a wrist roll. That's really fun to see in natural light. Now each one of these bracelet options, whether it's the full titanium bracelet or the rubber strap, has quick release spring bars, so you will not need a spring bar tool to make the change from bracelet to rubber strap. Now let's take a look at the case back. You'll see a highly detailed stone lion motif that is not stamped. It is deeply CNC engraved. So there's some real shadows that take place here on the design, which I think is nice, but there's no hot spots. It's all rounded, it's all finished well, and all aspects of this case back really, I think, exude quality. There's no cheaply done parts to it. All of the text is 3D or relief lettering, which I think makes a difference. And then there's a partially open, custom-shaped sapphire crystal that shows part of the movement beyond. And then you'll also notice a small purple lacquered logo, and this is indicative of this being a Millesime release. I'm sure in future years or vintage releases, that color will change with whatever tone that Atelier Wen leans into. Now, the movement is a customized Dandong SL1588A. It's an automatic movement. It is entirely Chinese made with upgraded finish work, 32 jewels, a purple-plated tungsten winding rotor, and heat-blued screws. The movement has a beat frequency of 4 Hz and a disappointing amount of power reserve of 41 hours. Now the movement is adjusted to 5 different positions, and it is spec'd to be accurate to plus or minus 10 seconds per day. And honestly, that's not great for this price, but I have noticed on this example that it is running at plus 3 seconds per day, which is in spec and totally, I think, appropriate for the price points. The movements are independently tested by the HRILI, or Horological Institute of Light Industry. From the naked eye, I think the finishing looks great. You can see only a small portion of this movement, but the decoration is attractive. It's only when you go under high magnification that the brushed elements look a little rough, as visible in this shot of the balance. The winding action of the movement is average. It's not smooth like a comparably priced Kinesi movement in a Tudor, but it's not gritty feeling. I do like the fact that the crown is a thread down style. It's signed, and the watch has 100 meters of water resistance, which is important for a daily driver, I think. I could jump into a pool and have no worry about getting water damage with this watch. Now let's go in on the dial on a macro level. I think that dial, again, it's the highlight of the watch. It looks great. The hands and markers are polished. The hands have a traditional bent tip, which I like to see as a watch fan. And the angled applied hour markers are broken up by the loomed decorative high Wen pattern. And this plays up the fully Chinese made aspect of the watch that draws regional and cultural design inspiration. And speaking of the loom, it's bright, potent X1 grade superluminova. I think the dial shines under the macro lens, and the depth of this guilloche really is noticeable, especially when you compare it to these applied markers that are dimensional. Now, this watch will come in purple custom packaging. There's a travel tote included. And I know the extras aren't a big deal with some watch collectors, but speaking for myself, I do appreciate a nice presentation box, especially when I'm spending thousands of dollars on one watch purchase. This has good packaging that feels at home with this purple dial Perception V2. Now let's summarize this watch. What's great about it? I think you can really tell that the designers at Atelier Wen, they wanted each aspect of the watch to be great. You can tell they put a lot of effort into creating a thoughtful, original design with very sharp aspects. Yes, this watch retails at $3,588, which is expensive, but considering the levels of handcrafting, the hand finishing, the different components and engineering, it's really not that crazy. I like that Atelier Wen celebrates what watchmakers in China can do. I think this watch is a statement to collectors about the type of quality that you can buy even at entry-level luxury pricing. And as I said earlier in the video, I do classify this as a luxury watch. Lastly, I love this purple dial. It's a color that you don't see often enough. It's eye-catching, it's beautiful, and it's my favorite colorway of the Perception V2. Now, as consumers, we can expect a unique limited edition release from Atelier Wen each year. That's the concept of Millesime. It's the uniqueness of each year or vintage that creates draw. The different releases play off of each other. They're all limited. And I don't know what Atelier Wen will do in 2025, but I assume it will be striking and different, just like this purple Perception V2 adds to the current collection. Now let's end the video with that announcement from Atelier Wen. Purchasers of this limited Perception V2 will have a surprise to look forward to when they unbox their purchase. Atelier Wen will randomly place a full tantalum version of this watch into 3 of the orders. So instead of getting a grade 5 titanium version, each winner will get this lovely purple dial, but the case and the bracelet are tantalum. And tantalum is an extremely rare, dense, and expensive metal. It's difficult to work with. And to my knowledge, there are no full tantalum watches from any brand on the market. I know there are tantalum watches on the market, but none with a full tantalum bracelet. And I think that's what really sets this kind of surprise apart. A tantalum bracelet. The price for making a bracelet out of tantalum really adds to the overhead. So each winner will find out that they won when they unbox their order in spring of 2025. There will be a Willy Wonka-esque full Tantalum ticket announcing that they've won. They've got one of the three. And honestly, I think that's a fun concept. I imagine ordering this watch and then being surprised with a full Tantalum version, one of three in existence. So that's a fun concept. That is the announcement. Atelier Wen will also do other full Tantalum watches in the future, but none of them will have this striking purple dial. Links are in the description. If you buy one of these, to you I say good luck. I hope you win the Tantalum ticket. And if you enjoyed this video or appreciated it, please help me by liking and subscribing. Those two small things make a huge difference to how visible my channel is and how it is recommended to new viewers. So thank you to all of you who have subscribed and who do upvote. It is much appreciated.